Welcome to Prenatal Mat Pilates. My name is Kayla Brugger. I'm in my 3rd trimester. I'm 36 weeks pregnant. We are going to be doing a spinal mobility focused mat class today. So we're going to do our best to focus on opening up through our lower back, through our spine, adding some gentle rotation. Depending on how far along you are in your pregnancy, you might still be comfortable sitting down on your mat in a cross-legged position. I'm going to use this Pilates prop called a moon box, but for you at home, you can stack up pillows or use a yoga block to sit on if you need to elevate those hips. Go ahead and just sit comfortably here. You're sitting on the triangle of your pelvis, so we're not too far forward rocking into our crotch and too far back into our back pockets or tailbone. We want to make sure that we're nice and tall and upright here. Just begin with a couple deep breaths in through the nose and out of the mouth. So go ahead and inhale and exhale. Big cleansing breath in and exhale. Notice how you sit a little taller as you sip a little bit more breath in. And exhale. Now go ahead and just bring one hand up to your chest and one hand down onto your belly. You're going to close your lips, close your eyes, and then just begin to take a few deep breaths in and out here. And using that hand that's kind of holding underneath your belly to slightly lift the belly up on the exhale, just adding a little bit of support and a little bit of feedback on your exhales to bring in a little bit of core activation. So big inhale through the nose and exhale. Just slightly feeling those tummy muscles drawing in and up. Inhale. And exhale, just feeling like you're giving baby a little hug. Let's take one more deep breath in and out here. Go ahead and blink your eyes open, placing your hands back onto your knees here. Just gonna rock slightly forward as you exhale, and then rock slightly back as you inhale. You're gonna keep your spine long and straight here. So just rocking forward, more like you're sitting on your crotch, how I said not to, and then back towards your tailbone and back pockets. Just bringing some movement forward and back here. And then I want you to sit straight up back over that triangle. Now we're gonna take it over to the right. As you take it to the right, try not to let your left hip come off of your mat or your block. Back to center tall, and then over to the left. So getting a little bit of that lateral movement now. Good, just coming over to the right and lengthen, and then over to the left. So try not to slump or slouch. Stay as long as you can so you really feel that diagonal movement through the right and left side of your body here. Just getting those obliques to come into play a little bit here. Coming up nice and tall. Let's take a big inhale. Arms are gonna sweep up towards the sky now. As you exhale, take the right arm down and the left arm over. So making that lateral movement just a little bit bigger. Inhale, both arms back up, tall to center. And then exhale, we're gonna take it to the other side. Inhale, nice big lift. And then exhale, coming over. Inhale and exhale. Already starting to feel some of that rib pressure coming off from the baby being so smushed up. Everything is getting more cramped. There's less space in there, feeling very restricted. So Starting to feel a lot more rib pain as I'm getting into the late third trimester, and then hands are gonna come down and back onto your knees. Just relax those shoulders here, staying upright nice and tall. We're gonna shrug the shoulders up. We're gonna take 3 shoulder rolls back and down. You might feel some crunchies or some cracks here. Shrug the shoulders up, and then exhale, retract the shoulders back and down. Let's do that one more time. Shrugging the shoulders up, and then shrugging the shoulders back and down. Now let's reverse it for 3. Pull those elbows, now puff up the chest, roll the shoulders up to the ears, around and front. Bring it back, up and around and front. One more time. Back up and around, and that gravity, drop those shoulders down and out of your ears. Coming into a little bit of spinal extension there as we lift. And then as you exhale, I literally just want you to think about pulling your pubic bone up to your belly button. You should feel the lower back opening, even though it's not necessarily rounding, depending on how big the belly is. We should feel some lengthening back there. Now we're gonna inhale, come up. Think about bringing the belly button up to the nose, adding a little bit of extension as you retract the shoulder and the scapula down. Now pull the pubic bone up, just rocking the pelvis, so try not to get those shoulders too involved yet. Really feeling that lower abdominal connection. Inhale, sitting up nice and tall, lifting and opening. And then exhale, bring it down, almost like you're shortening the space between the pubic bone and navel. Let's do that one more time. Inhale to lift. And then exhale, just feeling that tuck of the pelvis right now. Now let's bring it a little bit more exaggerated. So you're gonna inhale, lift, and drop your head back as far as you're comfortable with, really arching and opening into extension. Now exhale, you're gonna feel that contraction in the lower tummy muscles that we were just creating. And now the chin is gonna drop to the chest and the shoulders are gonna bow forward slightly, but I don't want you to tense them up to the neck, so make sure they stay heavy and down. And then inhale, bring it back up, open into that seated extension. And then exhale, doing your best to round out the back, really tuck the pelvis down. 3 more, inhale to lift. And then exhale to scoop those tummy muscles in. Almost feels like you're shortening the space between your ribs and your hips. And now we're lengthening that space as we open and exhale, contract. Beautiful. One more time, inhale to lift and open. And then exhale to contract. Inhale, we're gonna come on up, stacking up nice and tall. Bringing your arms out to a T here now. Laterally reach over to the right. Make sure that left hip doesn't rock off of your box here. Really stretch as far as you can to one edge of the mat. And then inhale back up to center. And then exhale, lengthen over to the left. Feel that stretch and elongation through the right and back up to center. And getting those obliques involved here. Exhale and inhale. And exhale and inhale. We're gonna go one more time each side with just this lengthening through the torso. Feeling again those ribs come off of the hips. Now let's take it down and go into a little tip here. So those arms are gonna almost tip like an airplane is turning. You're gonna come back up and center. Exhale, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Reach as far as you can. Tip over, moving those arms like an airplane, and back up to a T and move to center. All while making sure those sits bones stay anchored down into the box, trying not to let those sits bones come off the box. If we go that far, we need to back off a little bit. Exhale, reach and tip. Inhale to a T, stacking back up to center. One more each side. Reach and tip. Rely on those obliques. Bring it back up through center. Reach and tip. Back up to a T and to center. Now we're gonna move our arms like an airplane. So you're gonna take it over to the right. You're gonna tip And then you're gonna reach your arms to a T now, adding a slight rotation there. Back open, center, and lift. Reach diagonally, tip, add a little rotation to it now. Inhale, open, and back up nice and tall. Exhale, reach, tip, rotate. Inhale, open, lift, back up. Exhale, reach, tip, rotate. Inhale, open, and back up. One more each side. Starting to feel our arms get nice and warm here as well. Beautiful rotation there through the spine. That feels so good in the back. Good, now let's just let this be a little bit more fluid. So you're gonna take it over and you're gonna just windmill those arms side to side here now. Just kind of let that be sensual. And just letting the body move like an airplane from right to left, adding that lateral reach and that slight twist and rotation. Trying not to let the arms go too crazy back and forth. Try to make the spine do that rotation here. Let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Make sure your sides are even and back to a T with a big breath in. And then exhale, let those arms release here. Woo! Really starting to feel the shoulders, the delts, and the biceps work there, holding those arms out that long here. Just take a big breath in. The arms are gonna come on up here. As you exhale, go ahead and take your arms behind you now into a nice chest expansion here. Go ahead and lift your chin up, lift your eyes up, take a big breath in across the chest. Really squeeze those shoulder blades back and down together. And we're gonna just stay here and hold for 5 deep breaths in and out of the nose. Last one. And exhale. Neutralize your head, look forward, and then gently make your way back up to your seat. Take your arms behind you into a big arm circle, and I want you to open the chest. Arch the back a little bit as you circle up. You're gonna interlace your fingers overhead, press your palms up towards the ceiling. Now as you exhale, you're gonna dive the body forward, tucking the pelvis in and really feeling the upper back muscles and the shoulders opening. Now go ahead and release those hands down, reverse that arm circle. As you inhale, sweep up towards the sky, interlace those fingers, and then exhale. Pull the navel up to the nose and then the pubic bone up to the navel like we practiced earlier in that seated pelvic mobility. Inhale, reversing that arm circle, back up, interlace those fingers, and then exhale, round the body forward and down, letting those shoulders drag away from the ears. Inhale, reversing for 2 more. Exhale, press the palms away, feel those upper back muscles stretching out along with the lower back. 1 more time, big breath in. Interlace and exhale, bringing it down. Inhale, those arms are gonna come out to a T here now. Exhale, let's add a little rotation to your right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, rotate it left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, really feel the obliques. Again, anchor down into your sits bones. And exhale. 1 more time each side. Exhale. Inhale. Last one, exhale. Inhaling to center, and then exhale, go ahead and release those arms. Meet me in a tabletop position here, all 4. Walk your hands out a little bit further in front of you. I want you to make sure that you're keeping a nice flat back as much as you can with the weight of the belly, dropping you forward. So you have to pull those tummy muscles up, finding that transverse abdominal connection. So let's just do 3 of those transverse abdominal breaths here. So you're gonna inhale, release the belly down, kind of like a hammock, drooping. And then as you exhale, pull the tummy muscles up. Feel the abdominal wall lifting as you exhale. Inhale, releasing down. And then exhale, contracting up. Inhale. And exhale. Now I may have forgot to mention this, but I do want those arms out a little bit further versus straight underneath you here. So we're gonna be doing a little bit of arm strengthening here. So I'm gonna have you inhale, shift your body weight forward. As you exhale, I want your elbows to go all the way out to the side. Come down there, pause for a breath in. Now as you exhale, tuck your chin, curl your tail, and round your spine, coming up. And then inhale, go ahead and sit your bottom back, creating as much space as you need, opening your knees as wide as possible for your belly. You should feel a nice torso stretch here, as well as those arms stay reaching and extending long out in front of you. So let's try that again. So you're gonna inhale to rise up, the body weight slightly pulling forward, the tummy stays in strong. Exhale, you're gonna slowly lower down. Hold, so some arm strength there. Now tuck your chin, curl your tail and pelvis, and press your way back up. And then inhale, send it back, really release the pelvic floor. Feel your sits bones opening and widening there. Exhale, we're gonna rise up and through. And lowering down. Holding for a breath in. Exhale, tuck the chin, tuck the tail. And then inhale, sitting back and releasing those pelvic floor muscles. Exhale, pulling through. And lowering down. Hold for a breath in. Exhale, curl the tail, curl the chin, press your way up and back. And sink those hips back and take a deep breath in to release the pelvic floor. 2 more of those. Exhale, coming up and forward. Elbows going nice and wide. Hold for a breath in. Exhale, tuck the chin, tuck the tail. Pulling those tummy muscles up and back. You're rounding out as much as you can. And then inhale, sit back in the release. Exhale, pulling forward and through, down into that push-up, so you get a little upper body strength here. Hold. Exhale, pelvic curl, chin tucks, tail draws down to the heels. And then inhale, hold that stretch. Beautiful. Exhale, we're gonna come on up here and then reposition to all fours, hands and knees. And I want you to take your hands over to the right side of your mat. If you want to stack them, you can, but it might be a little more comfortable to kind of stagger them slightly here. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and sway the hips over to the left, and then I want you to look over your right shoulder and feel like you're pulling your right armpit and your right hip together. That's gonna be an exhale. You're gonna feel that contraction down that right side. Now inhale, sway to center, press the hips to the right, and then pull the left armpit and hip towards each other as you look over the left shoulder and contract there. Inhale, neutral pelvis through center, and then exhale, press the hips slightly left, squeeze down the right side of the body. Inhale and exhale. 1 more each side and exhale. Last one to the left. Inhale back to center. Now let's go ahead and sway it back to the right, so look over. Now this time, sit your hips back, and you're gonna swing up the left side and look over the left shoulder and squeeze and contract the left side. Now swing those hips from left to right, coming down and around. Turn your chin to your right shoulder and squeeze the right armpit and hip together, just like we did earlier, but now we're just adding a little hip sway to this, rocking back and forth, squeeze the left side. Inhale as you're coming down, releasing through the pelvic floor there, and then exhale as you're coming up, right armpit to hip, one more time. Inhale, bringing it down. Oh, this feels so good. Coming back up and squeeze that left side together. Now, bring both hands over to the left side of the mat, and we're gonna start it just the same here. So go ahead and take a breath in. As you exhale, you're gonna swing the hips over to the right and squeeze and look over the left shoulder, contracting the left armpit and hip together. So you should feel that slight oblique contraction. Now inhale back to center, and then exhale over to the right side. Squeeze and contract. Inhaling to center, and then exhale. Inhale. So it's actually a pretty subtle movement here. So just a little lifting of the hip to the pit and retracting the armpit to the hip. One more time, and then we're gonna add that hip dip. Now inhale, we're coming back to center. Exhale, we're gonna squeeze the left side. Now swing the hips down from left over to right as you're transitioning to the right, and you're gonna squeeze the right side together. Now inhale, sway those hips from right over to the left and squeeze the left side together. Inhale. And exhale on the right, squeeze. Inhale, stretch the pelvic floor down and away. Exhale, contract and squeeze. So again, getting that nice lateral side body energy here. And exhale. Inhale, neutral position here. Hands and knees. All right, so we're gonna do a little staggered stance position. So you're gonna bring, let's start with the left knee forward and the left hand forward. So the right hand and the right knee are slightly back here. And you might need to separate your knees and your hands a little wider to give your belly a little bit more room here. So what you're gonna start with is a push-up position. You're gonna drop your chin down towards the mat, really stick your booty up, and as you do that, I want you to lift your right leg up behind you with a flexed foot. Now that's gonna be your inhale, so you've got a nice arch through your back. Now as you exhale, you're gonna tuck your chin towards your chest, curl your pelvis underneath you, straighten your arms, and now pull your right knee in towards your nose. Inhale, pulling into essentially a cow stretch, adding that push-up as you come down, lifting your right leg up behind you. Lift and open up, elbows are wide. Exhale, roll through the pelvis. So make the pelvis move the spine as you come up, pull the right knee through. So there's a little bit of core work there. As you push the mat away, you get this beautiful upper back stretch. Inhale, coming down, opening and lifting the back leg behind you. Exhale, curl through the pelvis. Feel those lower abs, mid abs, upper abs. Lift as the arms straighten and you pull that right leg through. 2 more. Inhale, arching the back, lifting that right leg up. Squeeze the glute. Exhale, push through those arms. Really starting to feel the body get nice and warm here, but the back also really opening. Beautiful spinal work. One more time. Inhale. And exhale, rounding to pull in. Now go ahead and set the right knee back down. You're gonna switch the right hand and the right knee come forward as the left hand and the left knee staggering back here. So the starting position of this is a little bit awkward, but then we start to get into the movement and the rhythm of that. So body weight shifts forward a little bit. You're gonna start to bend those elbows wide. That left leg is gonna lift behind you. It's almost like you're resting your chin down on the mat. That's a breath in. I like to flex the foot here like I'm stamping the footprint on the ceiling. Now exhale, start from the pelvis. Tuck the pubic bone in like we practiced in seated. Pull the tummy muscles up, round the spine and pull that left knee through. Feel the contraction there as the arms straighten. And then inhale, bend those elbows wide, drop your chest down, lift your chin up. feel the extension through the spine. Now feel the flexion as you lead with the pubic bone curling in. Exhale. Now I notice my body really starting to sway to the right, so try to stay as square as you can there. As you're dropping down on the inhale, pushing, rolling through the pelvis, pulling through on the exhale. 2 more. Inhale, elbows go wide, flex that back foot, lift the chin up off the chest. Exhale, pull through the pubic bone, curling the pelvis in, pulling that left knee through, pushing the mat away. 1 more time here. Inhale. And exhale, rounding, curling, and lifting. Bring that knee as far through as you can. Pull the belly off the thigh, push the mat away, and release down. Woo! Oh my gosh, that was so much harder than I was expecting it to be. Body definitely started to get warm. So if you need to grab a drink of water here, by all means, grab yourself some water. If you're ready to move on with me, I'm gonna do just a little bit more upper back strengthening, a little bit more movement through the pelvis here. So depending on how big your belly is, you might be okay without using your block. If you need it to rest your forearms on, I might pull my block forward to rest my forearms on if my belly feels like it's too compressed and there's not enough room. So you're gonna start with your knees really wide here, sitting back on your heels. You're gonna walk your arms down, coming to your forearms, and then we're gonna go ahead and stack our forearms over one another. And then you're gonna bring your forehead down onto your arms, relaxing the shoulders here, and feel the scapula retract down. So you should feel that energy into your upper back here, okay? I'm gonna take a big breath in, and then as you exhale, you're gonna start to tuck the tailbone down to the heels. You're gonna push up through your arms, and then push down with your palms into one another, rounding out the back again. And then inhale, releasing back down, letting the belly hang out and the shoulders relax. So now if you are feeling too cramped and like you can't breathe and you need to bring your box or your block into play, or your pillows here, it would look like this. Inhale as you're releasing down. Then exhale, you're gonna start to lead from the pelvis. So really try to pull those sits bones down and under to the heels, tucking the chin to the chest, lifting your hips up slightly. You're gonna feel the tummy muscles pulling up on the exhale. And again, those upper back muscles rounding out. And then inhale, releasing back. Exhale, curl the tailbone down, lift the pubic bone up, stretch across those shoulder blades. Inhale, releasing back. 2 more. Exhale. Lift the lower belly muscles. Lift the mid belly muscles. Lift the ribs. And inhale, let it go. 1 more time. Exhale, curling up and lifting. Lift the belly away from the thighs. Pull the tail down to the heels, even though you're rising up on the knees. And then go ahead and sink it back here and release. Now try to completely relax those pelvic floor muscles down as you completely stretch through the hips. Feel the sits bones pulling away from each other as if baby is furthering down into the birth canal. Just try to surrender here. Let the hips soften. Take your time coming on up. We're gonna finish in seated, so making sure that you're stacking up right on that triangle and that we're not too far forward or too far back. I'm gonna stay upright nice and tall here. I'm just gonna finish with one more seated lateral stretch here. So what I'm gonna have you do is gently press your left knee down in a way you're gonna slightly rotate and angle your body to the right. As you do that, again, I want you to feel that anchoring down the left side as you kind of dip your chest over your right knee. And then inhale, we're gonna come back up and then slightly rotate to the left, press the right knee down, and then exhale, a little forward hinge there. Inhale back up, slightly rotating to the right. Press the left knee down and away, anchor the left sits bone back. So you're not gonna be able to come that far forward without that opposite hip wanting to come off your mat or off your block. And then try not to roll forward. So we wanna lead with the chest and sternum. Inhale up, rotate, exhale, lengthen over as you anchor the opposite side. We've got 3 more. Over and exhale again. Just feeling that stretch and that length along the lower back into the spinal erectors. Everything gets so tight in the back of the body from all of that growing weight pulling us forward. So just trying to reverse some of that here. Breath in nice and tall. Take your hands to your belly here. And then just finish with some calming breaths here. And just holding belly in, whether you're expecting or not. Just feeling the breath through the abdominals, relaxing the shoulders. And just finding a moment of calmness, stillness, and silence. Our breath is such a powerful tool, whether we're using it to prepare for labor and delivery, or just simply using it as a tool to de-stress, calm our minds. Almost as if we're finding a meditation here. You're welcome to stay here and focus on the breathing as long as you need to calm and relax your mind and your body. But if you're ready to move on with your day, just blink your eyes open. Thank you so much for joining me today.